Our next story is from the Indian state of Kerala. On Sunday, it witnessed a series of explosions at a convention centre. The blasts have claimed the lives of at least 3 people. 50 others have been hospitalized with serious injuries. It's been 24 hours and the incident has triggered a political blame game. However, on Gravitas, we'll focus on the nature of the incident and the motivations behind it. To start with, the blast unfolded during a prayer session organized by Jehovah's Witnesses in the town of Kalamassery. This is located barely 6 miles northeast of Kochi. According to reports, more than 2,000 people were attending the 3-day event. Local police says that an improvised explosive device or an IED was placed inside a tiffin box, and that might have caused the blast. Listen to this.
Preliminary investigation shows it is a IED device and we are examining it.
Is there any terror angle in this?
At this stage, I cannot tell anything. Only after investigation, I can confirm you the details.
Let me tell you about the casualties now. At least 2 women present at the event died on Sunday, while a 12-year-old girl with 95% burns succumbed to her injuries this morning. Despite receiving ventilator support, her condition continued to deteriorate, leading to her death. 50 others are being treated at a hospital. Most of them are also severely injured. The victims comprise people of all age groups. Let's now listen to a few statements from the kin of the injured.
My mother is admitted in the hospital. She came yesterday for the prayers. She is 67 years old. She already has some other issues and now she has got burn injuries on her legs, hands, mouth and back.
My sister is in ICU. My aunt is in casualty. My sister has got burning in her legs.
So who was behind the blast? Well, shortly after the incident, a man named Dominic Martin claimed responsibility. The 48-year-old posted his confession in a Facebook video and then turned himself in at a nearby police station. Last we checked, the video has been deleted. Who exactly is this man? What are his affiliations? Well, he claims to be a registered member of the Jehovah's Witnesses. Why then did he attack a ceremony organized by the same religious group? Because he was apparently angry with its quote-unquote anti-national teachings. His words. Allow me to quote his exact statement. Around 6 years ago, I realized they were not a good organization and their teachings were seditious. As I had no other option, I took this decision. Jehovah's Witnesses, your ideology is wrong. You do not help anyone or respect anyone. You want everyone to be destroyed except yourself. That is your ideology. Interestingly, a regional spokesperson of the group has denied these claims. He has added that he was unaware if the accused was even present at the event. Whatever be the case, the incident has put the spotlight on this religious group. Questions are being asked about its teachings and why one of its followers allegedly decided to commit such an act. Here's what we know so far about it. The Jehovah's Witnesses is a religious movement which believes that traditional Christian churches have deviated from the actual teachings of the Bible. It believes that due to this deviation, the destruction of the world is imminent. The group originated in the United States. Its headquarters are located in New York. Today, it claims to have about 8.7 million followers globally. In India, it apparently has some 60,000 followers. Most of them happen to be from Kerala. According to its website, Jehovah's Witnesses have been present in India since 1905. Interestingly, in 1986, its followers were backed by India's Supreme Court, which ruled that their children could not be forced to sing the national anthem in schools. The blasts on Sunday were perhaps the biggest attack on the religious group in its history. They have jolted the entire community. Here's hoping the real culprits are brought to justice at the earliest. Our next story is from Pakistan. When Hamas first launched its shock invasion of Israel, the reaction of most Muslim countries was restrained. They could see that the killing of civilians, including children, was unacceptable by the rules of both doctrine and international law. Every society, every land has its hysterical fringe, but there are some on that fringe that can only be considered insane. Raw hatred has made them mad. They're indulging in hysterical nonsense, which could end up hurting the cause they say they support. Let me explain what I'm talking about. This statement made by Afnan Ullah Khan. He's a Pakistani senator from the PMLN who claims to have received doctorates from York, Oxford and University College of London. We haven't checked whether these claims are correct, but let me tell you why I have my doubts. Since these institutions don't give degrees for madness. On Sunday, this Pakistani senator shared a tweet. It shows an image of the German dictator Hitler, now hated as much in Germany as anywhere else in the world, wearing his Nazi uniform, and a message which appears to be a reference to the Holocaust against the Jewish people. It reads, "At least now the world knows why he did what he did." Yes, he actually said that. For the unversed, Hitler killed an unbelievable 6 million Jews during the Holocaust in an effort to exterminate the Jewish people from his land. This statement is absolute lunacy. The last thing I repeat that the Palestinian people need is friends such as these. The post drew immediate criticism online, even from those who support Palestine. The comments range from immediate removal of the post to calling for action against the senator. Some users even tagged Elon Musk to remove the man from the platform entirely. The timing of this post is crucial. It comes at a time when anti-Israel sentiments are at an all-time high in Pakistan. On Sunday, Islamabad saw a protest organized by supporters of Jamaat-e-Islami, Pakistan's biggest Islamist party. The protesters even threatened to march towards the US Embassy. The warning made the embassy issue an advisory for American citizens living in Islamabad to limit unnecessary travel. Now, here's the thing. Pakistan has always been a safe haven for bigotry, with its leaders promoting extremism and oppression of religious minorities. While the leaders may not reflect the sentiments of the Pakistani people, but the mainstreaming of such thoughts has certainly put the Pakistani society on an alarming trajectory. In the past too, Pakistan's top officials have been found promoting anti-Semitism. Take the case of Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Pakistan's former foreign minister. In 2020, he had accused Israelis of having, quote-unquote, deep pockets and controlling the global media, a remark that was slammed as anti-Semitic. The same year, a Pakistani High Court released a terrorist who was behind the gruesome murder of American journalist Daniel Pearl. Right before his murder, he was forced to release a video talking in detail about his Jewish identity. There are myriad examples, but you get the point. Anti-Semitism seems to have become widely prevalent in Pakistan. Perhaps it's time, high time, that Islamic countries call this prejudice out and take strict action against Pakistani leaders who promote it. Our next story is from Qatar. On Friday, it sentenced 8 Indian nationals to death. All 8 of them happen to be former Indian Navy personnel. 48 hours on, there's one question that everyone's asking. Will India be able to save them? Will it be able to get the sentence nullified and bring its veterans home? Let's tell you about the efforts being made by New Delhi. To start with, Indian Navy Chief Admiral R. Hari Kumar has issued a statement. He has said that the authorities are taking every possible step to ensure relief for the 8 personnel detained in Qatar. Allow me to quote his exact statement. The court hearing was supposed to be transcribed and provided to us on Sunday, but we heard the MEA statement on this. Every effort is being made by the government to ensure we take this up through the legal course and we get relief for our personnel. Shortly before this statement was issued, back in New Delhi, the Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar met with the families of the 8 Indians put on death row. He assured them that the government will make all efforts to secure their release. The Foreign Minister also put out a tweet about the meeting. It reads, and I quote, "Met this morning with the families of the 8 Indians detained in Qatar, stressed that the government attaches the highest importance to the case, fully share the concerns and pain of the families, underline that the government will continue to make all efforts to secure their release, will coordinate closely with the families in that regard." Now, here's the thing. The personnel in question have been in jail since 2022. What has New Delhi done since then? Was India not proactive enough when the trial was happening? What was the Indian mission doing? These are the kinds of questions that are being asked. Reports say that India has made 8 bail pleas for their release. But all 8 times, the pleas were rejected. Why? Was our mission ever told why? If Qatar had nothing to say, then what is it hiding and why? Let me now take you through a brief timeline of the case. This story begins in 2017. This is when the 8 officers in question were employed by a defense firm in Qatar. The name of this firm is Dahra Global Technologies and Consulting Services. It apparently provides training to Qatar's Navy personnel. The CEO of this company is Khamis Al-Ajmi. He's a retired Air Force officer from Oman. The 8 officers had been working at Al-Ajmi's firm for over 5 years. Little did they know about the price they would have to pay for their service. On the midnight of August 30th, 2022, these officers were apparently summoned by Qatar's Interior Ministry. Once there, they were asked to accompany officials for a training program. But ever since that day, the officials never returned home. They were detained and put behind bars. So was their CEO, Khamis Al-Ajmi. When he went to secure their release, he was briefly detained by Qatari authorities. In November, right before the Qatar World Cup, he was released from prison. The officers were not. Why? Does this indicate a clear discrimination against Indians, even in treatment, according to prisoners? We ask again, if the charge is serious, why was one person released and Indians kept in jail? Why were Indians only detained? This is a big test for Indian diplomacy and its engagement with the Indian diaspora, especially in West Asia. Here's why I say this. Look at the figure on your screens now. When it comes to Indians being jailed abroad, West Asia tops the list. Bahrain has around 265 Indian prisoners. Kuwait 428, Qatar 682, Saudi Arabia 1,362, and the UAE 1,966. Many of them have been involved in crimes and have been convicted. But what about those languishing in jails only under suspicion? Do these prisoners receive the same treatment as others, or is there discrimination? The saga of these 8 veterans detained in Qatar has come as a telling reminder about a bitter reality. What's worse is that this decision has been taken by Qatar, a country that India helped when it was isolated by most of the Arab world. You see, in 2017, a host of Arab nations cut off official diplomatic and economic ties with Qatar for supporting Islamist groups. And this led to a huge drop in imports to Qatar by land and sea. At the time of this crisis, India was one of the first countries to help Qatar. It restructured import lines to circumvent the blockade. Has this gesture been forgotten?